I'm uh, I'm in the ninth grade, and my little brother's home from school. Probably 14, 15, and been practicing on grapefruits for a while. And we were watching Jackass, and I've always had a great penmanship, so I figured, fuck it, why not? So I bent my little brother over a futon with him choosing to do so as well. I didn't force him, but I tattooed your name on his butt cheek. And towards the end of the tattoo, my old man walked through the door and lost his shit. Now, I was only supposed to tattoo on grapefruits and things of such, but it kind of escalated quickly. I'd already tattooed myself before I tattooed my brother, and I was bit. That's all I wanted to do. So when I graduated high school, which was court mandated, I didn't have a fucking choice. I graduated high school, I got my diploma the next day. The next day after I graduated high school, I went down to a tattoo studio here in town and asked for an apprenticeship. And I started working. It was a working apprenticeship. It wasn't pay half down, pay half when you're finished, work the other bit off, this, that, or the other. It was work hard for it. If you appreciate it, it'll prevail. If you don't, we'll see it and you can go on about your way. So things didn't work out with that company, and it wasn't because of my stick-to-itivity, it was just because of differences that we had amongst. And I went back to construction, building military barracks with my dad, traveling around, and working for family has never been easy, but my old man's never given me nothing without having to work for it to begin with. So I separated ways with construction, moved to Florida, started tattooing out there at any spot that would bring me in. Met a crew of guys out of a shop called Cherry Bomb and wanted to work around them, wanted to be around them, wanted to be them. They carried themselves in such a way that you could just tell that they knew they knew what the fuck they were doing. And they might have had a bit of an ego, but it was well deserved at the time period. Nobody was doing portraits at that time. I watched a kid that was a year older than me, if not a year younger than me. Around the time that portraits and realism started coming too in the industry, I watched this kid evolve from doing walk-in tattoos, realistic roses, to fucking full-color portraits. He had gotten half sleeves done by an artist that he looked up to, and went and did his very first convention, and fucking tied for first place with him. His name's Billy Toller. I'm not dropping names for any other reason other than I got mad respect for the guy. We had our differences, separated ways too, but I saw the passion, the desire that he had, and I saw the capabilities of taking it to the level that he did, and the look in his eye when he won that award. It wasn't necessarily that he had shown the other artists that he was better, it was just the fact that he never thought that he would amount up to that, and I wanted that. It wasn't my time. I had a lot of growing to do as an artist, but I desired that. So long story short, I got in a little bit of trouble in Florida, moved back to Texas. I've been back in Texas now probably 5-6 years. I was born in Florida, raised in Texas, military brat, moved all around, so it was all over the United States. But got back to Texas, I was 23, 24. Been through a little bit of hardship, learned a couple lessons the hard way. Started doing construction for my dad again. And then on the evenings after construction, I'd go tattoo out of the house, which isn't recommended, but I didn't have the opportunity to just hop into a shop. I didn't know anybody out here. I didn't want to work for a place with a substandard reputation and it affect my future. So I slowly embarked upon it within this area. I had a lot of differences with a lot of people in the beginning. A lot of people threw salt my way, and I threw salt back. I was young. I didn't mind talking shit, but my mindset was, I'm in a town where a lot of people are kind of complacent. Not saying everybody, but a lot of people are complacent. Instead of me trying to go to each artist and tell them what the fuck they need to do, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit and try and get them to show me what the fuck they're capable of. Because watching somebody else do good tattoos is gonna make me want to do good tattoos. So by pushing that person, it's gonna push me. So I did that for a while. I was a little dickhead in town that talked shit, and it got me a lot of negative publicity, but it was still publicity. And as I grew as an artist and as I stayed hungry for it, a lot of people around here grew too. And it's awesome to watch the evolution of tattooing within just this area alone, but much more so just within this industry. Never in a million years did I think I would be doing tattoos like I do. I'm colorblind. I try my best to do as much realism as I can. I limit myself to certain things because I know that my boundaries are set where they are, and I'm not going to step outside of that. I'm not going to disrespect somebody's skin and do a tattoo for the money. I'm going to do a tattoo that I know I'm capable of killing, and I'm going to add a couple variables into it that are going to challenge me to make me still grow, but allow myself to stay within a limitation that I know I'm not going to make this person come back with something they don't like. So with growing out here in Beaumont, I started traveling around Texas on my own, out of my own pocket, like every artist should do. You got to invest in this industry to grow in this industry. If you want to tattoo like people you look up to, you have to get tattooed by them. If you spend enough money with an artist that you look up to, 9 times out of 10, if you ask a question, he won't mind answering your question. But if you're a something for nothing dude, nobody's going to help you out. So invest in this industry because you're only going to get what you put into it. So I started traveling around, met a lot of artists, forgot a lot of artists. A lot of people know me that I don't know, and it's just because I deal with so many people on a daily basis. I remember tattoos. I remember situations. So with traveling, I was in Austin, Texas. It was my first time to do the Star Texas. And I'm sitting there tattooing, and I've got overkill in my booth. I've got so much shit, my car was loaded down. I'm trying to show off in such a fashion that people see that I'm motivated, that I'm hungry, that I'm passionate, that I desire better. And nobody knows who the fuck I am, but I'm gonna show everybody what I'm capable of doing and hope for the best. There was, 350, 400 artists plus at this show. Some of the people that I've looked up to with the traditional, neo-traditional game since the beginning. I brought a full bodysuit that I've been working on. I'm sitting in my booth tattooing on a dragon, and I see a black guy walk by, and he was holding a camera, and he had this beautiful ass girl standing next to him, and he started taking pictures. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? So, long story short, I get the bodysuit to enter a couple of pieces, and I grab second place for large color in the state of Texas at the Star Texas show. Now, I know not everybody was there, but a lot of notable, or a lot of people with notoriety, a lot of people that have a lot of passion, a lot of people that really try were at that show. So at that point, it set me back. It let me know that I was on the right path, that I was doing something correct. But I needed to hone down on my skill because it was all over the place. So I started doing more shows. I did probably 7 or 8 shows my second year, and then my third year into the tour, I'm doing 8, 9, 12 shows a year out of my own pocket. And now my family's suffering in the beginning, but in the long run, we're going to prosper from it. So when I went to Fort Worth to do a show, we're jamming out at the show. I got 12 of my buddies to show up. We got 6 booths. I'm right across the road from Texas Ink Mag. And they've always had a Trump-ass crew. Everybody's just stellar that works with this company. But I started talking to a couple people, and I never thought that I'd be even capable of working alongside these kind of guys. I mean, I had the desire and the drive, but I pushed for it. And so me and Raphael, we were sitting down in the lobby till like 6 in the morning one night, and this dude looked at me and he goes, "Man, you're an awesome ass dude, but I'm telling you one thing, I can't fuck with you." Now, jokingly or not, I'm a very emotional individual. I go off of feeling and whatnot, and we may have been drunk. I don't know what it was, but it fucked with me. And it made me evaluate everything that I was doing. How do I treat people online? How am I speaking to my customers? How are my posts sounding when I have a cancellation? Is it a negative, fuck, my appointment just canceled, or is it, hey, I have an opening this evening, which appeals to a lot more people. And so with taking it to heart and really changing a lot of the things that I was doing, I got a phone call from him out of the blue. They had an Ink Master show in Texas coming to Beaumont, and it was the first time that it had ever been here in town. I wasn't going to work the show. I had already done quite a few the past year. I was trying to take it easy. But I got a phone call from Raphael, and he had told me that we were going to have a guest artist at our shop that I had no idea about, and it was my homeboy Jason Elliott. So that fired me up. He asked me if I was going out to Galveston, and I was like, I really wasn't planning on it, man. I'm trying to just take it easy and do some family stuff right now. And he let me know that he had a big badass beach cabin and whatnot, so I ended up going out to Galveston. And working with Texas Ink Mag at that show, it was my first time, and I just figured I was sitting in. I didn't know what it was all about. He had an availability, and I filled the spot up. So with my first show, I was like, well, I got to really show out. I got to make sure that I represent myself to the fullest of my capability. So I brought out about 15 people. I spent almost $300 on entry fees for tattoos. I tattooed 3/4 of a back piece in 6 hours, and then the next day I did 1/4 of a back piece in probably like 7 hours. It was a big tattoo. And then the last day I just tattooed the homies and hung out. But without even turning a profit at the show, it got me notoriety. I won some awards. I got to tattoo alongside people that I've been looking up to that I never thought I'd be tattooing with. And at the end of the show, I had asked Raphael, if this was something I'd be able to do again, and he was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You're part of the crew." So at that point, it let me know that not only by changing the things that I felt as if he made notion to with the "I can't fuck with you" comment, it really did help. But the fucked up part was, he looked at me and goes, "Dude, I was just kidding with you. You looked at that shit way too deep." And so the thing is sometimes it's not necessarily what anybody else can show you. It's a matter of stepping back, analyzing what you have going on, and realizing that you can approach things differently without having anybody to have to guide you down that path. You just have to do it from a humble, smart standpoint. And that's really what it takes. It takes somebody to think outside of the box and approach this industry with a positive attitude, because you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. And people all day long are trying to give bare nuts minimum, do small tattoos, do tattoos that are substandard just to crank out for the money. And I'd rather eat crow and give away my tattoos than shortchange somebody just to make a quick buck, because there's no passion in that. And that's where I really feel like all of this has sprouted from, is from passion. This is all I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. I never thought I was going to really do anything with it because of the lifestyle I chose to live when I was coming up in it, and I shook all that off. I went through adversity and I overcame it. I moved halfway across the United States after being around a bunch of people I shouldn't have been around, and I prevailed from it. So whenever you may be thinking that you can't do it, it's fucking possible. I mean, I'm living proof. I'm colorblind, I'm tattooing my ass off, I'm doing color tattoos. I do black and gray tattoos as well, but I just don't have as much passion in it as I do with my color tattoos. And it's because when somebody tells me that I can't do something, or I'm not going to be able to do something, or I won't do something, it pushes me to want to do it that much more. So I just push every day to try and make each tattoo that much better, because you're only as good as your last tattoo.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they love one day docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades. You loving on the psychopath sitting next to you. You loving on the murderer sitting next to you. You think I'd get here sitting next to you. But after all I've said, please don't forget. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. We don't deal with outsiders very well. They say newcomers have a certain smell. Yeah, trust issues not to mention. They say they can smell your intentions. You laughing on the freak show sitting next to you. You laugh some weird people sitting next to you. You think I did not get here sitting next to you. But after all I've said, please don't forget. to ask